Hi, everybody. This is Gary Demas, Sentiment Timing, and this is our technical video report for Monday, October 13th, 2025. So the Bulls came out swinging today. We had Trump that backwalked the 100% tariff stuff. So I had a feeling I put it in really yesterday's write-up part of the video report that most likely we're going to see a gap up, and that's exactly what we saw today. But I'm showing you the ES chart right now because what you'll notice is that all this, the entire day today was done last night. So I had said if we see the S&P, the ES break above the overnight highs and hold, then we're probably going to see a move come somewhere up into the 67.52. But we had a bit of a pullback. We were actually able to buy this with the spiders. We made a pretty easy trade today. And then from there, we came up and basically closed what we did, the high that we made it overnight. So I'm not going to give this an A plus for bullishness. You'd probably want to see them extended higher. I'm going to wait for tomorrow and see what they do. But some of the, the stuff I'm looking at has me thinking that we're going to get some type of little bit of a pullback tomorrow to start. If not, I do believe it's going to fail. So here's the trend line that we broke through. This is going to be resistance. It's right at the 6680 level. You can see we have bearish divergences this was the gap up high, and then from there we went up, and you can see that was the high for the day. So we have short-term sell signals. We don't really have them that much on the 15-minute chart, but if we come down a little bit, let's say I'd anticipate the 66.23 level, 25 to hold, and we can even just take a look at the 5 and see where they are. So you can see we're right actually at one of the moving averages right now, so they don't have a whole lot of room. They only have 5 minutes before 5 points before it breaks through. Like I said, I'd like to see a pullback down to here. If it holds, then we pop back up, and that's where I'd be looking for a long trade. And really the resistance areas that we want to keep an eye on, if they can get above these highs, we're looking at the 66.81 and then up to the 67.17, which this is the area I think is going to be pretty difficult because this is where the panic happened right there. So the 67.17 area would be if they can get above the 66.81, that would be my next target on that. So on the downside, what we want to keep an eye on now is if we do get some backing and filling, we want to throw some fibs up here and see it. And you can see this pullback right here came right down to the 23% retracement. And again, if it pops up, I think they're going to have a little bit of an issue up at the 66.76 unless they gap over it. If we do get a little bit more backing and filling, again, you can see the 66.23 is a 38% retracement. And then if we get down to the 66.09, I think we're coming down to the 65.95 level because that's where you can see this little bit of support right there, or even the 78%. But I think somewhere in here they will try to buy it back. But I'm not even married to this is not the low. I think that there's we should see a bullish week overall. So I'd like to see some of these support levels hold and really see us make the move back up into the 67.17. And like I said, I think this is the time that they're going to be really getting people confused, meaning that we're going to see these moves up and then all of a sudden they pull the rug out and we get maybe not as big of a drop that we saw Friday, but we get a big retracement and then it gets bid back up. And what it's going to do is train everybody to believe that they just need to buy every single dip. And that's typically how tops happen. So I don't know, we have the cycle date that's coming up in a couple weeks with it. That's going to be looking for a 10% correction if it comes. Again, I'm not trading that correction. If we start seeing some support levels taken out, then, you assume it's in play. And that's it. We start looking for a larger pullback. But we keep trading the stocks that we are. And I'll show you some of them today. And it's absolutely insane what these quantum stocks are doing. But we had gold also. If you guys did not see, I put out that gold report. It's actually pretty good. And I actually compared it to the one that I did almost 2 years to the day. And if anybody would have just taken the stocks in that report, you'll see in the email they're up about over 250%, 300%. And at that time, we had GLD trading at 180. So there's another big thing taking place right now, and I do believe you want to read it because there's going to be a lot of money to be made in that. So, all right, getting back to the S&P. So upside, we already know the resistance. Downside, we want to keep an eye on the 66.23. If that gets taken out, we have fib levels, but this is really the support zone right here. And if they get it taken out, then we're probably going to take these lows out. But here's the thing: we could have a setup where you can see the actual. The low here, we didn't really get down to the actual 50-day moving average. So we can come down and break this a little bit. And if that happens, it really is going to get everybody very bearish on this market, and then they bring it back up again. So I just know that the way that these master planners work things is they try to keep everybody guessing, and that's really it. So we get to see a false breakdown, and then they bring it back up again. Or they're going to just come up and they're going to test these highs or break them and get up to the 6,800, and everyone's going to get the party hats out and believe this market isn't going to go down. And I don't know what the catalyst is. I don't know if it is going to go down. But one thing I know is you just have to be very, very careful and selective with what you're using. So let's take a look at IWM here, and here you can see this actually performed the best. So we had the gap up, we came up a little bit more, pulled back, and then this is what I was saying, look, with the follow through. So with the S&P, let me go back to this here. So, we had a little bit, where we gapped down and we came up, but we came back down again. I'm really, the thing that has me a little kind of not sure if I'm believing is, the fact that the futures made the high at 2 a.m. and that's really as high as they got. I thought they were going to try to bring it a lot higher if they were going to, keep things going. So, but I'm not, like I said, I'm kind of open-minded for tomorrow. I just believe that some of the sell signals that we're seeing is going to give us a little bit of a breather. But we've also seen the bulls run without taking any breath. So here you can see, let's take a look at where the resistance, I don't know what I'm doing here. Okay, so these are support levels. Let me just switch this up here and go to the breakdown here. And you can see from here, we made it almost up to the 78% retracement. So if we remember on the S&P, we made it up to the 62%. So we have the IWM that's up here. So it is kind of leading the way a little bit. So if we get up, I'd keep an eye on the 245. If we take a look at some of our where the gamma walls are, and go to IWM, you can see the 245 is actually where there's going to be some gamma resistance right there. And then if we come down, 242 is the support. So those are the really areas you want to watch. If we take a look at the S&P, again, 6690 is it, 6700. So this is going to be, some pretty important resistance right here if they get up there, and I'd probably be looking to fade it up here. But if they get above it, then we're heading up to the 6750, and again, we still have the 6800. So 6600 on the downside is the support. I don't know if we're going to get down there tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure. That would be some pretty good whipsaw. But I'd say the biggest winners of the day. I'm sorry, that's not what I wanted. Let me finish this on IWM. So on the upside, that 245, we have gamma resistance as well as a fib number. And support-wise, I'd really be looking. That's not. Oh, you know what? It keeps switching it from chart to chart. I have to just change something up. But support-wise, if the bears can get it through to 243.40, I think that we could see a move down and start testing some of these support levels down at the 241. But as I showed you on IWM, it has 242 support with the gamma. So that would be an area that I'd be interested in seeing if it holds, and if it does, then we go along and look for the next move up to the 247 level. But this is what I was talking about as far as just some crazy moves today, and it's the quantum stocks that, again, I was recommending them buy them all the way down in these levels here back in April. Oh, this is July on it, but we were, It's a pretty amazing move that's been taking place here. So you can see from there we went up 25% today, but the warrant part of it, RGTIW, that was up 34%. So yeah, these are stinging when they're making these kind of moves, and I took a big portion of my of the size of the position that I had off, expecting some type of pullback, and it just has not come. I personally wouldn't be chasing this right here. I just think this is some crazy stuff going on, and I think they're really just squeezing all the bears. So for tomorrow, stay open-minded. I really don't have any major directional view. I do think we'll get some type of pullback. We have to see if that pullback gets bid back up, and if it does, then we keep looking for the long side until we hit that cycle top. So with that, have a great night, and I'll talk to you guys in the morning.